Well, today is the last day of 2016. I've actually been pondering what video to make today that everybody could enjoy. And I always enjoy information. In 2016, review videos are always about some sort of review of what's gone on in the year. Well, I have a very large audience of Mgtow for some reason. So for whatever reason, I'm showing up as Mgtow, although I completely disagree with it insofar as black men is concerned. I don't know if I've hammered into white people or white men the idea that the black culture is completely different from the white culture, but maybe I have just a little bit. The things that concerned white men and white women does not concern black men and black women. We are of a completely different culture. We are not the same. Okay. I looked over all of this information and I settled on making a video just about this. 88. 88. The number of unmarried men 18 and older for every 100 unmarried women in the United States as of 2015. And I believe that number has probably gotten smaller. In doing research, now this wasn't the only information that I went over or researched or whatever, but I wanted to just concentrate on this. I just heard the breakdown of why it's like that. The percentages of men reaching, first of all, the age of 18 is unnormal when you compare it to females, women, right? Now, this 88 does include black people and other people, black men, Asian men, but this number reaching 18, for men reaching 18, has some disastrous other percentages along with it. They include all sorts of deaths, and all of those deaths include just huge percentages. I consider anything that's above 30% in a population to be huge. There's a lot of 35% here and there in all of these things. Everything from workplace accidents, traffic accidents, being incarcerated, all sorts of crazy stuff, taking their lives, just abnormal stuff. And you have to be completely callous. I'm sorry. I'm sorry for speaking so slow. I'm trying to emphasize everything that I'm saying, and I know it's just not needed for you intelligent people. Yes, I'm being sarcastic because even with the way that I talk, people still get the video completely wrong, and it annoys me so much. I'll try and speak faster. You have to be a callous, evil person if you actually are going to make some sort of political statement or political argument or ask for some sort of quote-unquote right, women, and then actually, I'm assuming, look at data, because I'm assuming if you're going to ask for a right, first you have to determine that you don't have the right, and to do that, first you have to look at the numbers. It's safe to say that most of these women advocating this, that, and the other don't look at numbers. They don't look at women in the workplace. They don't look at women's salaries. They don't look at it at all. They just go with, I feel women are paid less. I feel women are paid less. They don't look at the numbers. Because they've said it so long, they simply don't look at the numbers. And then to make political points, to score political points, the politicians just go along with it. And then the explanation of why politicians actually go along with it is so stupid. I can't believe it. Almost to a man, the politicians are married men. And so the married men don't go and make just and equitable laws for men, because they then go home to their wives and their wives dictate to them what's fair for women. What's fair for women is not actually just, not actually good in every sense of the word. There is no goodness to what we're doing for women in this society. So by the time men reach 18, they're a mere 88 to every 100 unmarried women. What does that mean? That means that even if men, all 88 of them, wanted to get married, women, you're still at a loss. You're at a loss, and that number is going down for both black and white. That number is going down. Years ago, I already made a video about the largest rising relationship trend, and that is unmarried men intentionally staying unmarried. That was before Mgtow came into existence. How do you like them apples? That was already trending. It was already a thing. Because women have destroyed any semblance of goodness, hope, and justice between men and women. When you can't have custody of your own child, your own flesh and blood, and children are not women's sole property. The very argument that you should pay child support because it takes two to... That's ridiculous on its face, and I'm going to get into that in a second. It's ridiculous on its face because they then turn around and say it's not their fault that they got pregnant. That's a lie. Anybody disagreeing or trying to debate it is crazy. Outside a complete criminal accusation, and a lot of those do not come to term anyway. Did you know that? In a lot of rape cases, any sort of pregnancy and then the baby quits anyway. A lot of those are lost. Well, you don't look at the numbers. You just follow this feminine mantra of we need abortion because rape. It doesn't come to term. A lot of it. Huge percentage. Huge, as one guy says. It doesn't come to term anyway. Outside of criminality, so let's completely ignore that. 100% of the decision to have sexual intercourse is the woman's complete choice. 100% woman's choice to get pregnant. 100%. And yet we have a legal system now that gets involved, which shouldn't be involved at all, that says that the man has to pay the woman because we're going to then determine that we're going to give the woman sole custody, full guardianship of the child, which in 99% of the cases is the wrong person to give the child to because she cannot take care of. That's the whole point of child support. The woman cannot take care of the child, therefore we're forcing men to pay for the child. Why does this system even exist? Because then they take a slice and a slice and a slice out of that, and that for administration fees and this fee and that fee out of that, and the woman gets a percentage of that. And because men typically make more money than women, because of how society actually works and how women don't work, let's go get in that and get into that in a second. We then have a system that is greedily taking men's money. That's all it is. It has nothing to do with women's rights, nothing to do with women being more nurturing, because all the studies have proven that women are actually not more nurturing on its face. Women actually are a danger to children right off the top. Women are a danger mentally, socially, physically, and sexually to children. Danger, complete danger. But the powers that be don't care about that. All they care about is getting men out of money out of men, and so they grant these children and probably sentence them to basically death by granting custody to the women. Don't say that you care about your child. You don't make the rule. The other 99 out of 100 women make the rule. Don't even say you know 99 women who have taken care of their children perfectly and they're all doctors and lawyers. That's not the rule. Those are all the exception. 2016, women dropped out of the labor force. That means women made the conscious decision to simply not work. Guess what? So did men, but women to a much larger degree. For men, it's 16% made a conscious decision to drop out of... I'm not talking about unemployment. I'm talking about not wanting to work at all. Women, it's like 34%. Just in 2016 by itself. 34% of the women said, no, I don't want to work. Here's the problem. Women have that privilege to do that because they know all they have to do is lay on their back and some man will take care of them. Is that too crude? It's the truth. 88 men, unmarried men, 18 and older for every 100 unmarried women. That is not to say 88 men are available for marriage, because the largest demographic of people in marriage and relationships are men intentionally not getting married. That does not say they all belong to Mgtow. And in fact, that doesn't say belong to Mgtow at all. Not even Not even technically, not even theoretically. No. There are plenty of men who do not want to get married, who then don't go with all the other stereotypically Mgtow sort of things. And no, Mgtow is not just not wanting to get married. You all have all sorts of things that you put upon your little group. And it's 99% white. I'm only saying 99 because I'm assuming that in that 1% there's non-white people who are just confused. 2016 saw a complete decoupling of men from women, marriage, workforce, and being basically alive. Now, how is this possible? A very large percentage, we keep talking about men make more money, a very large percentage squirreled away money and simply said, Ayn Rand style, walking away. Who is John Galt? Completely getting out of the system. I have a friend who years ago made millions in the tech industry, a very young guy, and so he was like, nope, not working anymore. Young guy. And he told me, I don't have to work. I made, when the company was bought, I made buku money. I don't have to work. And he lives modestly. He lives like a regular guy. A lot of guys squirreled away money and just simply said, all right, enough is enough. Bye. No more working. And nope, they're not going to go give that money to a woman. Women now make as much as men. Did you hear me? Women now make as much as men. This whole wage gap stuff, that's all a lie. I don't know who would believe that crap. Women now make as much as men. You have a female running for president of the United States. That was the last bastion. But you know, we've actually had females running for president since 1960 something, and a black woman, I believe, was the first. But they all trying to promote Hillary as the first. She's not the first to do anything. She never was, and it was all a lie, fed to the Democrats or the millennials who never study actual history. They study women's studies or African studies, which is probably not taught by an African nor a black person at all. 2016 saw the decoupling of men from the workforce, from marriage, everything. If there's any woman listening to this, I think it's time for you all to speak up. If you're of any sort of intelligence, if you're of any sort of rationality, it's time for you to speak up and say, hey girls, I think you've gone too far. You had your fun. Time to get back to society. Men are the ones who built the bridges, the skyscrapers, and still build bridges and skyscrapers because women don't want to even do that. They're trying to ascribe to women stuff that women would never do, don't want to do, still don't want to do. You want fatalities? You know what's creeping up? Women in the workforce fatalities. That's creeping up because women are so crazy as to want to go do those jobs. Oh, but they pay more. Yeah, and they come with a death rate. Is that? Do you know? I've been offered jobs, all sorts of jobs that pay a lot of money, but they come with a death rate. They tell me right. They said, you could blow up. I had a person who cornered me and said, I heard you were applying for that job. I heard you were accepted position. Do you know we're the front line and we will die? That's what the job is about. Getting paid to risk your life. If I had to do it over, I wouldn't do it at all. That's all I had to hear. So then I became a YouTuber. No. No, they're not lazy. These men are not lazy. They're not whatever, It's just simple fact of men have had enough. No children, no girlfriend, nothing. And no huge impact on the housing because men have figured out that men can get a studio apartment and be perfectly happy. They also saw the increase of male happiness. Can you make conclusions from that? Maybe, maybe not. It's not scientific. But being away from these weird females of this aberration, and then they did a survey and they said, why aren't you getting married? And this is not Mgtow guys, regular guys. Why aren't you getting married? And they all wrote in, as if unanimously, saying women are no longer women. What does that mean? That women are no longer feminine, they're no longer ladylike, they have no morals, they have no compunction about competing with men directly. A man does not want to marry a man. And the whole homosexual thing is 1% of the population, so don't even think that. When a woman starts competing with a man on an equal footing, she loses all sorts of sexuality, attractiveness for men. In fact, they did a survey and they said women are finally coming into their own, and women are now readily admitting, and they found out that women are actually more sexual than men. And they found that on both sides, women said they're afraid to vocalize this, to be out and open about that. And they said, why? Because when we vocalize it to our male partners, literally they lose interest, get dressed, and go home. When they've surveyed men about that, they said the same exact thing. If a female vocalizes that she really wants it, I just say, check please, and I go home. Lose complete interest. There is no chase. There's nothing interesting about the woman. And the older woman said, that's what we taught our daughters. You could be as sexual as you want to be, just don't say anything, just keep quiet about that. Women are no longer women, and so men are saying, no more. We're talking about completely cut off. And no, homosexuality hasn't increased. Effeminate men hasn't increased. And no, it's not porno or anything like that contributing to the... that was one of the excuses, again, of women, saying there's too much porno and porno desensitizes men to women. No, that's not true. Actually, porno's on the decline. As per population, as per the economy, it's actually on the decline. Why? Because new technology is far more interesting than porno. Meaning, you can play video games now and entertain yourself and you don't think about sex at all. If you had nothing to entertain you, then you think about other stuff, right? But if we are fed all sorts of media 24 hours a day. There's no longer a need to think about sex all the time. I was going to say these men that give up and say no more work also said they didn't particularly indulge in porn that much at all, nor having sex, because it's not necessary. I know that's the low moral society trying to chime in. Oh, it's all about porno, right? No, I don't think you understand the entertainment industry as far as video games is concerned. It's billions of dollars a year, billions of dollars. And it's almost recession proof. How crazy is that? So even when people lose their jobs, they can still go play video games. And pound for pound, it's much cheaper to go buy a $40 video game, plug it into your computer, and be good to go for months at a time. Don't have to go out, don't have to go out to eat, don't have to go out to see movies, none of that stuff. And now you have couples actually meeting over internet games and getting married to one another and neglecting their children to death. Seriously. I'm sure you heard about that. 2016, the year of the man, but not in the way that females want it, not in the way that women want it, not in the way that feminists want it. It's the year of the man of completely checking out and saying no more. Like I said, for you, any woman listening, you all need to tell your feminist sisters to chill the hell out. Because for white people, this is the end. They've already made projections, and it's gotten worse than the actual projections. What was it? Like 2200? There will be a point of no return, and white people will be wiped out from the face of the planet. Do you know how serious this is? This is just that serious. That means, in some of the people's lifetime, being born right now, there's gonna come a point in their life, if they live old enough, well, not born right now, but very close, their children, or their children's children, there will become a point where white people will be on such a decline as to be a point of no return, and there will be no more white people on the planet. This is just that serious, and this is intentionally being done. I keep saying, black culture does not have the same culture as white culture. We don't have the same problems. You all have huge problems to such a degree you don't even know it. Thank you for watching the Shakaama Live Show. I didn't reach my 50,000, but I reached 40,000. I think maybe it'll tick over and I'll reach 40,000 today. Thank you for watching, and thank you all for all the subscribers, all the brand new subscribers that I got at the very end. I hope you have a fantastic new year. I'm going to do exercise videos. Since I could potentially die at any second, I'm going to start doing exercise videos, and I want you all to encourage me. Thank you.